Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Swish Life Garage. Today, guys, I'm getting started here pretty early this morning. If you guys saw my previous video when I went to go pick up my Civic from the tow yard, if you noticed, I have been driving my 4th gen Prelude. Been driving it for about 1,000 miles. Now, there's still a lot of things I need to get done, but one big thing I want to get done for this video is get the car tinted. Now, for sure, I'm going to do the quarter and the rear windows. We'll see how long that all takes. Possibly might get started on the front windows, but if not, that's going to be a second video following after this one. Now, definitely tint is one of those things that makes a pretty big difference just looking at a car, but as well being inside of a car, driving it, it makes a difference on the temperature. So since it is summer, it's definitely going to be something that is noticeable. Before we get started doing the tint, I want to let you guys know down below in the description box, there is some links to my eBay. I sell any car parts and any personal items that I don't need, but as well there is a link down there for my Etsy. There you can buy any merch, some shirts, some decals, and some other decals that I've designed. So if you guys want to show any support to the channel, definitely click down below in the description box. Without taking any more time, let's go ahead and get started on the tint. I'm going to be starting on this quarter window, and there's no tint on it. There has never been any tint, so it's pretty clean. First thing I'm going to do, I got some baby soap, some Johnson & Johnson baby soap, and some water. Spray it on the outside, clean it on up so we can get started. Just get a microfiber. Now that's clean, just going to measure how much material I need. Minimum about 16 inches. To cut my tint, since I don't really have a workspace, what I do is I open my box, and then obviously have my roll of tint right there. And what I'll do, I'll get my tape measure, since I already know I need at least 16 inches. Take it right there, get my 16 inches, line up my second box, my cover. So I'm at 16, just over 16 inches. So whenever I pull my tint, I'm gonna reach the end right here of the box, hold it, and then just cut it. It seems to work out for me. That's just how I do it. I already got my piece cut out. Let's go ahead and work on the window. Quarter window, gonna wet it. Here is the tint. You want to go ahead and lay it just like that, just down on there. You don't want to put it sideways or anything like that, because tint pretty much has like a grain that goes up and down on how it was made on going along with the roll. So you don't want to go longwise with the roll. You want to just go with the roll. Try to line it up or get it to where I don't gotta cut as much material off, because the more material you waste is the more money put into the car and the less that you make if you're doing a job. About like right there. If I wanted to, I can move it a little bit more. I go up a little bit. I'm just gonna cut around the window. I'm not gonna cut to where obviously I'm gonna be inside of the window, but on the outside I'm gonna just pretty much get the shape of this window. I kind of have the general shape of the window, but I can't really see through it because it's dark tint. This is 15% tint, if I didn't already say that. But I'm going to be using this big LED light. It's going to be real bright, so I'll be able to see the border lines of the window. We'll be able to cut on the outside, right on the outside of the border line. You guys might not be able to see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm just cutting right on the outside of that border line. Don't want to make it too big or the tint will not fit. Don't want to make it too small, or once you install the tint, you're going to have a light gap. So definitely do not want that. I'm going to use my squeegee here, just kind of really tack it on there so it doesn't move around. And now honestly, I haven't even tinted a window. It's been quite a few months. So not really the best tinter, but I get it done. This window is cut out, but you see these fingers that are forming. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to shrink it. I don't want to put on this window and then it still has to get all those fingers put out. So let me go ahead and shrink it. I'm going to put some water on the back side of it. I'm gonna get my Mac Tac card. Like that. So I'm trying to push all this material in this way. So you do just like a rainbow over on each side. Get my heat gun, put it on high. Whenever touching it with the heat gun, you want to keep moving until you see these fingers start to just spread out. Heat, keep moving. You see that finger spreading, and then he's getting heat on it. Boom, it goes squiggly. Just hit it on down. Boom, boom, boom. And there's still some more. We're gonna hit them with the heat, It went already squiggly already. Trying to make sure, man. Come on down. A little bit farther. Oh, let's get this one squiggly, man. Come on down. It's all good if they pop back up. That means you just gotta get more heat on it. You don't want to push prematurely and to where it's not even shrunk yet, and then you're going to crease the film. Almost there, man. You don't want to burn the film, so make sure you're not burning it. This last one. I shrunk it once, I'm going to shrink it twice. So all we're going to do is just wet it again. It's wet. Water on the backside. Get my rainbow going. You can tell it's already shrunk because you already see how the lines are reacting. A few more little lines here. That's why we're shrinking it a second time, so we don't get any once we install it. Most of the time, you don't have to shrink your quarter windows. They lay pretty flat, so it's not really an issue, but I saw all those fingers already forming. I already knew I was going to have some issues, because if I install it, I put it on the back side, you're going to see those fingers everywhere. I'm going to be trying to heat it up, try to get them on mount, and then the finger is going to move over here, and then it's going to move over there. So really save yourself the headache. This is all cut out. It has been shrunk twice. This is ready for installation. Now I need to go on the inside and make sure it's real clean. I have my soap and water here. Just gonna wet this on up real nice. And then I have a little scrub pad, one of those white scrub pads. I just cut little sections off of it. Make sure you scrub that window on down. Make sure you get those corners, those edges. I'm gonna wet it again. I mean, you really cannot make it too clean, you know what I'm saying? Really want to make sure you get all the dirt before you install it, because it's going to be your final product, man. You don't want to have to redo it again. Use whatever squeegee you feel like you might need, whatever microfiber you might need, whatever little tool to get into these crevices. Now that the window is ready for installation, I'm going to wet the tint. Wet it on the outside, make sure you get any dirt tacked on down so it doesn't start flying. Then you're going to get the outer liner of the tint. As soon as you start opening it on up, start wetting it. I'm going to go on the inside, wet the inside, and then it'll be ready for installation. Slide this on off, start to put everything on it. I'm going to squeeze it down a second time, but with more pressure. You want to make sure you get all the air bubbles, if any, on out. I do see I have a little bit of dirt, but honestly, I mean, this is my car. Am I going to sweat about it? Probably not. Probably not, man. Unless it's like some big, you know. Boom, so there we have it. Got the quarter window and 15%. It's not 100% perfect. There's some little specks. I'm not sure that the camera would pick it up, but it's pretty good for the most part, man. Pretty pleased on how the quarter came out. I'm gonna get started on the other side, just pretty much quickly walk you guys through that one as well, and then we'll get started on the back windows. Going to try and make this pretty quick. Wet it on up. Quarter window is finished up. This one came out better than the other side. I mean, they both came out pretty nice, but just overall. The next thing I need to do is tint this rear window, but I do want to cover up the third brake light. So I'm going to have to take that down so it can get behind there, get the tint behind there. And then probably the other thing is take out the speaker covers, just because they're pretty close to the back glass. And I know these are definitely rotted a bit from the heat, the material, so if you touch them, a lot of dust and stuff is going to be coming off. I know that as well on the back seats, since they are pretty ripped up from the sun, especially that one. You can see the foam. Whenever you touch it, just a lot of dust goes up in the air. I'm going to be taking out the speaker covers, the seats, and the third brake light, so I can make sure I get a clean install on this back windshield. Just going to take off this panel, this plastic panel on the roof. Should pop off. There's going to be two 10mm bolts. So now third brake light is off and able to get the tint behind here. To me, it looks a lot better whenever you cover up the third brake light. Now I'm going to take out this rear back seat, the upper half. Seat comes out. This other seat right here, it doesn't come out exactly that easy, but I am able to fold it down. For the rear speaker covers, to get them out, you got to open up the trunk here and then go underneath. Each one is held by three 10mm nuts, so we'll take those on out and then they just pop on off. Disconnect the speakers, push on up and get them on out. Now we're ready to start tinting on this car. So first thing I'm going to do is clean the glass. So I am going to have to shrink it to the shape of this car. First thing I need to do is get some soap on here. There's some different ways that you can shrink. There's dry shrinking and wet shrinking. I choose to use dry shrinking. This is all I use. Got some Dove soap and a microfiber applicator. All I do with soap and water, I really start to wet up that applicator and then start to wet up the soap. And then once it's nice and wet, just start to rub it on in there. Get it nice and soapy. A little bit more water. Rub it on there and now we're ready to go. Really need to let that fully dry. It's pretty hot out here, so it's going to dry pretty quick. If you're working in the winter time or somewhere cold, you can get your heat gun and just start to go over it and help it dry up. The measurement across the back glass that I need is 48 inches, so now I need to cut the tint. Soap is dry, and now I'm going to throw the tint on here. Painter's tape up on top, just so if I get a little wind, it won't throw it off. But I am going to cut the outline of the window, just the outer outline, and then we'll get on to shrinking. You want to make sure to give it enough room. You don't want it butting up against the corner like on this seal right there, because whenever you start shrinking it and it starts to hit that corner, it's going to make it bunch up and it's really going to mess up your tint, and you're going to have to redo your tint. You got to know how big your borders are as far as for the dot matrix. Mine is about that big, so I still have more if I wanted to cut it, but for the most part I'm pretty straight on there. There's already enough space for it to get shrunk. Now gotta start shrinking this window. You could already see that it's not conformed to this back window. The reason why you do this is because the tint is in a roll and it's used to being basically just rolled up together, you know. So now you're trying to make the tint flat. The tint doesn't want to get flat, it wants to roll back up. So that's the reason for shrinking, is so we can make it flat, basically kind of like ironing clothes, and it'll be conformed to this back window, ready for installation. For the shrinking process, you're going to get your Mac Tack, the card. You're going to make a big H on this back window. So we're going to go across and then flat, flat, cross, flat, flat. So I'm going to lay it right on down. Put this flat. And this is also where you see if your edges are going to touch the trim. See, like I probably need to cut that edge right there. There's a lot of shrinking that needs to go on, so let me go ahead and get at it. So now I got the light inside. I'm going to start cutting everything on out. Got the tint all cut out. It did take me a little bit because it is pretty sunny out here. Even underneath the tent, I have quite a bit of sunlight coming through. And so whenever I had my light on in there, I had my LED light, I was able to cut the dot matrix all the way on up. But when I got towards the bottom, since the rear here where the speakers and that cover, the rear deck cover, it kind of gets close to the window where it dips in. So the light was getting hard to see. Now if it was probably dark or a little bit darker, whenever I had the light, you know, pretty much would have been able to see. But with the sunlight and everything going on, pretty hard to see, so it took a while. Next, I gotta clean the inside of the window here. Gotta scrub everything on down, make sure there's no dirt that's going to contaminate the film with the installation. Once that is all cleaned up, I'm going to take off the clear liner, spray it on down with the soap and water, get it ready for installation. So I did put that tint on. For the most part, it came out all right, but I kept looking at it, and then I had little fuzzies from this little panel back here. The deck cover had a bunch of little fuzzies, and then I had one little air bubble which I tried to get out. Is already too hot. It dried up. It just, in my eyes, didn't look too good. After I decided I didn't like it, I ripped it all off, and then I started just ripping out the rear panels. See, I took out everything, back seat, side panels, C-pillar, quarter panel. It didn't take too much to take it out, but now I have enough room. I'm gonna get the tint right back out. I need to shrink it again, need to cut it, and then we'll be on to installation once again. It's all finished up, and this one came out better than the last one. Before, I just had a whole bunch of little specks all down here, like I said, near that deck cover, and there is still a little bit of specks here and there. I did get, I'm not sure what's here, it might be a little crease, but I just have that, and then one other little spot right there. Might be some dirt or some residue, something like that. But like I said, this one came out pretty clean for the most part. I'm pretty pleased with it. And then as well, the quarters. I still need to throw the interior back on in. It definitely made it a lot easier without that deck cover and the seats right here. If you guys have a 4th gen, you might want to do the same thing. If you are tinting it, as well, covered up the 3rd brake light. So check it on out, guys. It is a little later in the day. It was super hot, man. There's the tint. Of course, still gotta do the front windows and the windshield, but just having the rear tint really makes a difference, man. There's without tint and with tint. Again, this is 15%. Of course, I still have to tint the front windows and the front windshield, so that's going to make it even darker than it already is as of now. But there we have it, man. Quarter windows and rear windows at 15%. There it is, guys. I tinted the windows, at least the rear windows. Hopefully you guys learned a little something. Try to walk you guys through the window tinting process. So if you guys maybe in the future want to try it on out, or maybe put it all together, you know, check out other videos and stuff, and maybe try to tint your car. So I mean, that's basically how I started. You know, I just kind of had the itch to do it for many years, honestly, and within, I would probably say, what, two 2 years ago, I started tinting. I'm still not the best tinter, and I'm still not the fastest, but I still get it done, man. I'm still going to tint the front windows. You guys are going to see that video uploaded probably up next. So make sure you are subscribed so you get notified on any new videos that I post. I have tons of projects, and so that means tons of videos, honestly, like unlimited amount of videos that I could be making. So thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment down below if you have any questions. May I have to catch you on the next one, player.